Hello. Well, I don't. Do I call you guys Spartans? I don't know. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments what my subscribers want to be called. But I figured today I would start working on a ranking video. It's something I've been kind of messing around with for a while. I work in like a data analysis kind of field, and so I wanted to take that into ranking structures. So there are a couple of points that I wanted to make before I got started. The first and most important one is that I'm right and no one is allowed to argue with me ever because I used math. Seriously though, yeah, so I used math to try to get these numbers, and when it comes to something like this, it's always based off of the formulas and all those other things. Someone else could come behind. I'll talk about this in the next point. One of the things I did was weighted. So for me, I thought the most important thing, or the heaviest weighted item, needed to be thwarting, because it's something that is so low. And again, if there's something if you want me to redo this, maybe I could redo it where I assign values for everything. For example, we know endurance costs 1 resource, but it gives you +3 health. So maybe health needs to be divided by 3, and that's your score. I don't know. If it's something you're interested in, let me know. As I was saying, though, point number 2, I did 3 different types of equations to get these rankings, and I came up with 2 rankings, and then I took the average of those 2 rankings. So one is the average of the score. So I took the highest. Let's say, again, like I was talking about thwarting earlier, Jean Grey has one of the highest thwarts right out of the gate. So I took everyone's thwarting score and then I divided it by the highest. And I did that across the board. And then, again, as I said, I did the weighting where I gave each thing a value when it basically went down. And again, if someone's interested in these numbers, just let me know, and I'm more than happy. I want nothing more than someone to see this and say, I would like to see how you got those numbers. And then they take that information and they're able to reduplicate what I did. All right. Now, there were some characters that I wanted to point out as having issues. So the first one off the bat I wanted to talk about was Vision. It's because he has the 2 forms, dense and intangible. The next one was Iron Man, right? Iron Man starts with a 1 hand size in hero form, so that definitely impacts him. Quicksilver, he had low stats because he readies multiple times. That's his whole gimmick. Spider-Woman, you need to play multiple cards for her to be effective, so she had lower stats. Spectrum, she's got like 25 different forms. Ant-Man and Wasp, they've got 2 different forms, and I took their tiny or teeny forms. I like to call it teeny, but I took the teeny forms, but you also have their large forms to consider as well. Then you've got Drax. He needs to build up those counters, and Ironheart, she also needs to be built up kind of like Iron Man. So I wanted to point those out because this is, if I haven't mentioned it, this is based off their base stats on their card. It's not considering anything in their deck. So that kind of throws them off where they could be. So let's get started. So the lowest character on my list is actually Vision. And I kind of talked about this earlier, but because he starts off in the intangible form, he starts with having no attack and no defense, so that really hurts him. Again, you could just flip over to dense and now he's got all those things. This is not including the fact that if someone hits him, you automatically take off 2, so you need to be mindful of that. And I think having Vision at the bottom is a very important reminder to people that this is trying to be non-biased as possible, because Vision is probably my favorite character to play with when it comes to my wife. Just because I could just sit there as an intangible and I can just keep getting hit, and it allows her to attack, and so it makes her feel useful and it helps me feel useful. So but yeah, no, Vision is my number 42. At 41, we've got Iron Man. Iron Man is at 41 because he starts off with 1 attack, 1 defense, but the thing that kills him is that 1 hand size starting off. Again, this is for as you start the game. So that's what's killing him, right? You've got to build them up, and every single time you could easily have a 3-4 hand size by the end of your first round, but because his hero hand size starts off at 1, that's why he's where he's at. So my number 40, and I don't know if you've caught the trend that I pretty much just gave everybody who the who the lowest people on the totem pole are. It's Quicksilver, and it's because he has a 1 thwart, a 1 attack, a 1 defense. But again, he's able to ready twice. Well, he's able to ready again, so therefore he's able to do these things twice, which if I had calculated that into play, he'd probably be a lot higher than he is. But what it is. Who'd you guess for 39? Was it Spider-Woman? Huh? Spider-Woman is 39 because, again, she has a thwart, attack, and defense of 1, but if she plays multiple different aspects, that number immediately goes up. So it's part of her kit, but for what I'm doing, she's at 39. At 38, it is Spectrum. Again, she's got the 3 different forms that she's able to flip between, and those all give her boost for whatever card she has. I didn't calculate that because you can't have all 3 up at the same time, and however you're going to start is going to be different for each other person. Again, that's why I kind of had that disclaimer in the beginning. So out of everyone in this entire list, this is probably the one that hurts me the most. Number 37 is Hawkeye. Hawkeye has always been, well, I don't want to say always been, but Hawkeye is my favorite character in the Marvel Universe. So it really does hurt to say that he's at pretty much the bottom of the list. He's the first person on the list that doesn't have that special exclaimer. Even though once you put his bow out, he automatically does more damage. Yeah, he's there because partly he's got the lowest health in the game at 9. I understand most people, a lot of characters have that same amount of health, but it's not helping him with this. He also has the lowest recovery, which is just the average recovery for most people is really just 3. But then he also has the defense and the attack of 1. So that's why Hawkeye is where he's at. So this one's probably going to be the one that gets me in trouble, but number 36 is Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is at 36 because she has an attack, a thwart, and defense of 1. The thing that puts her above Hawkeye is probably going to be the recovery. Hawkeye's was 3, hers is 5. So that's why she's slightly above. But I mean, other than that 111 stat line, she's pretty average. So that's why it hurts her for that those 3. For number 35, it's no other than the comeback king himself, Nova. I absolutely love playing with Nova when I am completely screwed. There's no one better than when you've got 6 or 7 schemes out and 4 or 5 minions, and then you pull his card that I'm totally blanking on. Unleash the Nova Force. It's just perfect, right? And there's nothing that gives you a rush than being able just to wipe the entire board of everything that's going on. It's just an amazing feeling. But again, he, just like Miss Marvel, has the 1 thwart, 1 attack. So that's what it hurts him. So number 34 is actually a character that I've never played. He came in around a time where I had a bunch of other characters, and it's why I try to do some of these series where I pick random characters I've never played just to force me to play them. And I'll talk about Black Panther way later in the video, but I've had some really good times with some of these characters, people that I wouldn't expect I would have liked. Anyway, number 34 is Rocket Raccoon. Just like a lot of these other characters, he's got a very low health. He's got the lowest in the game, 9, which again, multiple people have that. But then he also has the 1 defense and the 1 attack. So at 33, it's probably one that's very interesting because no one, or the community at large, hasn't played this character, and it's Storm. Storm has a 1 thwart, 1 defense. So, you know, we're probably gonna be seeing that for a little bit for the next couple of characters. She just doesn't start out really strong. Sorry. So, like Rocket Raccoon, this is another character that I haven't played yet. This one I actually have a reason why, and I kind of talked about Ant-Man before, but this character is Wasp. Number 32 is Wasp. I've always been terrified that the card is going to rip in two, and so I actually just got something that allows me to keep it all together. And it's Wasp and Ant-Man are probably my most protected cards now, and I'll be playing her soon. I'm waiting on something else that's coming I'm pretty excited about, but yeah, Wasp is my 32. This is because I used her tiny or teeny form, and so she starts off with a 1/1/2 stat line, so that's why she is at 32. My 31 is another character I have not played, and that is Adam Warlock. This is because he's got a 1/1/2 stat line. That he's at 31, not that I haven't played him. I haven't played him because I feel like he's very intimidating. Maybe not intimidating, it's probably bad. It seems like a lot of work to set him up, since he's got to have the same amount of aspect cards in each aspect. That just seems like a lot of work for me. I will play him eventually, but I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of other easier characters I could play that I haven't played. So, but yeah, Adam Warlock is my 31. So for 30, it is one of the channel's favorite other channels to watch, or one of my favorite other channels to watch. It's Get Up in Games, Drax. Drax is where he's at because he's got a 1 thwart and 1 attack. You know, his recovery is pretty high, and his health is also really high. So it is kind of shocking to see him where he's at, but I guess that goes to show you that we're kind of getting out of that 1/1/1 stat lines. And again, as I kind of mentioned earlier, Drax is one of those characters that I put a little asterisk on. He needs to be attacked multiple times so that way he can kind of build himself up. So Drax is my number 30. For number 29, it's the community's favorite, Miss Versatile herself, Valkyrie. Valkyrie has a 1/2/1 stat line, right? 1 thwart, 1 attack, 1 defense. I don't know if I've mentioned when I say 1/2/1 stat, that's what it means, but she does have a 4 thwart or a Thor recovery, so that really helps her. And then she also has the 12 health, but the 1 attack, 1 defense, it just doesn't really help her much here. So Valkyrie, number 29. So for number 28, it's another one that I'm kind of disappointed in, but it's War Machine. And I made a mistake earlier. I said attack, thwart, defense. It's a thwart, attack, defense. So he's got a 1 thwart. So that's why he's here. Again, it just goes to show you that we're going to start seeing bigger numbers thrown up. For number 27, it's another character that I don't have a lot of familiarity playing. It's Scarlet Witch. I've actually she's one of the few characters that haven't even been played around me. So as someone that I probably need to be playing really soon. Again, she's got the 1 attack, so it's kind of why it puts her where she's at. The next 3 or 4, they're pretty much like they're all a hairline ahead of one of another. So just be mindful of that. So for number 26, what's interesting about this character is they're considered to be one of the strongest characters in the game. Maybe not as much anymore, but it's Doctor Strange, who is personally one of my wife's favorite. Right, when I started playing the game, it was because I was playing Hawkeye, she's playing Doctor Strange, and it's not because of anything to do with Marvel Champions. It's just we picked our favorite characters. He's got 1 attack, and again, this does not include anything going on in his invocation deck or in his his hero specific cards. So that's why he's at number 26. Number 25 is probably my favorite newest character. The character's come out in the last, well, this year at least, and that's Cyclops. Okay. An argument could be made for Spider, but Cyclops is up there as one of my favorite characters, especially recently, especially since I've started this channel. It's probably why I've got more of him up there than anyone else. The thing that's killing him right now, he's got the 10 health, and he also has the 1 attack, right? And again, not including anything going on with his optic blast. So that's why he is at number 25. So in my first rendition of doing this, what I did was I took the average of all of the characters or each of their different stats, and then I try to take and see how far they are from the average. And this next character was the dead centerist. So number 24 is Star-Lord. He's got 2 thwart, 2 attack, 1 defense. So he's pretty much middle of the road as far as that is concerned. So Star-Lord, number 24. So what's interesting about number 23 is that they are considered to also be one of the most OP game characters in the game, are overpowered. It's Spider-Ham. So Spider-Ham has the 1 attack, 1 defense, but because his health is at 12, it kind of gives him a bigger boost. But yeah, so Spider-Ham, number 23. So number 22 is a character I've gotten to play a couple of times, but I would like to probably play a lot more of. And that character is Thor. Again, just like so many other on this list, he does still have a 1 stat. So he had 1 thwart. So that's why he's at number 22. So I mentioned this before. If Cyclops isn't my number 1 character from this year so far, it's Spider. And so Spider is my number 21. The biggest issue that Spider has is going to be the card size, because she starts off with a 4 hand size in her alter ego and a 3 in her hero. That's what's really hurting her in this ranking list. So Spider is my 21. Number 20 is probably one of those characters that I avoided playing, and then I got to play them and I enjoyed them so much. I'm just not very good at it, but it's Ant-Man. Ant-Man is my number 20. The thing that's hurting him in this list is the fact that he has a 1 attack. But again, if you flip over to Giant, now he's got 3 attack. So, and if you were able to get 3 or 4 of the ants out, I'm sorry, there's only 3. If you got 2 or 3 of the ants out, you pretty much can just constantly continue to do damage while also constantly thwarting. But then you're not getting the extra attack, thwart, or recovery from flipping to each different sides, which again is not something that was calculated into this character. But Ant-Man, my number 20. So again, I'm using math here. Not that anyone would be upset about this character, but number 19 is Colossus. Colossus, his thing is hurting him is the fact that he's got a 4 hand size and a 1 thwart. But he does have the 14 health. So that's probably why he's in the top 20. Colossus, 19. And to round out my weird characters, it's Ironheart. Ironheart is this far up the list because of her defense. She's got a defense of 3. She also has an attack of 2. So the defense is high, and then the attack is average. Well, everything else, with the exception of thwart, is pretty average. So I think we're getting everything's are going to start being higher than what we've been seeing. But Ironheart, my number 18. For number 17, it's probably one of the characters that I'm not on board with when it comes to what the community likes and what they don't like, and that's Venom. Venom's got a 1-2-2 stat line, 4 recovery, the 5-6 hand sizes, and he's got the 12 health. So again, we're going based off stats, and I'm not including the fact that he can take 8 damage to generate a resource. Venom is number 17. For number 16, it's a character that I didn't think I would like, and then I ultimately did enjoy playing with them. But number 16 is Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is where she's at because she's got a 12 health, a 4 recovery. So that's what it is. So for number 15, it's probably my most excited character that's been announced so far, and that is Gambit. Everyone, well, from the people I've talked to, Gambit seems to be like he's going to be super overpowered, but he's where he's at in the list because he's got a 3 defense, and I think that is kind of counteracting his 9 health. But Gambit is number 15. So for number 14, it's a character that has a 2-2-2 stat line, but a 9 health. It's Shadowcat. So, I mean, as I kind of mentioned, I think it's kind of keeping her at 14 is the 9 health, but the thing that's keeping her out of the 20s and the 30s is that 2-2-2 stat line. So number 14, Shadowcat. So for number 13, which is pretty impressive if you think about it, it's Peter Parker's Spider-Man. This is probably because he's got only 1 thwart. But yeah, now Peter Parker Spider-Man is number 13. For number 12, we're going to continue with a Guardian of the Galaxy, kind of, and it's Nebula. So Nebula has the 2-2-2 stat line, 2-2-2 stat line, but she also has a 9 health, which is keeping her outside of the top 10. Nebula, 12. So for number 11, it's another character that I haven't played or seen played, from that matter. It's Ghost Spider. So Ghost Spider has the 1 thwart, 2 attack, and 3 defense. She has a cover of 3, which is pretty basic. So Ghost Spider is number 11. So to start off my top 10, it's Black Widow, and I played a video with her just recently. Maybe I can get a link going around somewhere. But Black Widow's number 10. She's got a 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense. Really, she's got everything going for her with the exception of that 9 health. Black Widow, number 10. So for number 9, it's one of the newer characters. It is Phoenix. She is here probably because of that thwart. I'm using her restrained side and not her unleashed. So she probably should be in my kind of strange characters, but I think that it kind of works either way in the thwart or the attack. I do think that if she had the 3 attack and 1 thwart, though, she'd probably be a lot lower in the list. But Phoenix is my number 9. So for number 8, and I think it goes to show just how important health can be for these characters, it's Gamora. So Gamora has the 2-2-2 stat line, just like Black Widow, but she has 10 health instead of 9. So that's kind of why she's where she is and Black Widow is where she is. For number 7, it's another character that I really wanted to like, but I have a hard time. I think I've kind of started to figure out ways that I could like this character, but I have a rough time with them. It's Captain America. So just like with Gamora, Captain America's got the 2-2 stat line, but he has an 11 health instead of 10. So that's why he is at number 7 and not number 8. So for number 6, it's another character that I haven't played. Not that I'm protesting or anything. I just, when you end up getting 5 or 6 characters in one shipment, sometimes characters kind of go to the wayside. But this was Miles Morales. He's where he's at. He does have a 9 health and he's got the 2-2-2 stat line, but he also has a 4 recovery, and you're going to see soon how recovery is so important in this game. So for number 5, it's Groot, who's a character I've actually only played once, and I actually got to play with Steve from Play the Game, and he gave me a lot of insiders. I think we only lost because he was so adamant of playing Valkyrie and just trying to make her work. But yeah, Groot is my number 5. He has the 1-2-3 stat line, but he also has a 4 recovery, which is why he's where he's at. So for number 4, this is the character that jumps around the most based off of how you weigh things. And I think this is actually the lowest I could get the character to with all the different stats. I will say that this character is being where they're at because of Big Hulk. Number 4 is Hulk. So Hulk is where he's at because he has a 0 thwart, but he does have the 3 attack, the 3 defense. But what's so killer about him is that 18 health. So Hulk is number 4. So number 3 is probably the character I don't know how to describe this. I am so glad that I've gone back to play characters that never really interest me. And this is the character this is the character why I'm so excited about going back and playing characters I never was interested in playing. Number 3 is Black Panther. I played him once. I think I did a video on him, and then I uploaded it. And then the next day I played like 3 games with him, and I got to see just how awesome he can be, actually. And I think that's really interesting when you kind of consider that he was one of the first 5 characters that was released. So Black Panther is number 3. Again, he's got the 3-3-3 stat line, but he does have 4 recovery, and he also has 11 health. I think the average is normal like 10. So Black Panther is number 3. All right, we're coming down to the wire. Number 2 is She-Hulk. She-Hulk is where she's at, mainly because she's got 15 health and she has 5 recovery. An attack of 3 doesn't hurt either. So She-Hulk is my number 2 character. Again, I just played her recently. I think it was one of my shortest games. If not the shortest. The only one that could probably compete against that was when I had Cyclops, but I got super lucky with him. She-Hulk is my number 2 character. And now it's time for number 1, the champ. I'm actually going to name my son after this character. It's Wolverine. So Wolverine is where he's at. As I mentioned, I don't remember how many numbers ago, Wolverine's where he's at because of his recovery. He's got a 6 recovery. That's huge, right? He also has the 222 stat line. So it puts him above a lot of other characters, but he was the reason why recovery was so important, because without him, the highest number was going to be, I think, 5, right? I mean, again, he's got 6, but still, Wolverine is the reason why recovery was so high and so important. It was his number 1 thing. And it's probably, we're getting him in 2 weeks. I'm super excited about this, and I just can't wait to play him. Wolverine is number 1. All right, so what did you think? Did you agree with my assessment? Does it come completely out of left field? Let me know in the comments. I want to take this moment now to just thank all of the subscribers, everybody that's been watching this content and giving your feedback. If you see that I make a mistake, you let me know. I plan on trying to make another video where I address each one of these mistakes that I've made. Not just because I think that the people that have corrected me need to be, that I need to mention them, but also maybe I'm making mistakes that some newer players might be making. But I do want to take this time and thank, again, all of my subscribers. It means so much to me, and it's really cool, the community that I've kind of joined into. I do feel like I've kind of hijacked some of other channels' followers, but hopefully I'm making content that people enjoy, and I appreciate every one of you that have spent your time watching my videos. So again, I can't thank you all enough. Thank you.